The impact of mobile phone use on teachers and students within the classroom has become a contentious issue as these technologies have become more prevalent within society. This topic sees students and teachers divided about the role that cell phones should play within post-secondary institutions. Taking an instrumentalist point of view, we set out to see how students and professors have been navigating the use of mobile phones in the classroom. Cell phones first began to be perceived negatively within the classroom when they started to be used for cheating purposes.
They were starting to get used more and more. Cell phones are starting to get used more and more during exams. Before they were regulated, students could actually bring the phones into the exams. Text message answers back and forth, looks things up that you had saved on your phone. So the teachers actually got together and decided that we need to do something to regulate this, and of course banned phones.
Cheating is still an issue for many educational institutions, but in terms of post-secondary education, it is no longer considered the largest issue in regards to cell phone use in the classroom. Now the disruptive nature of cell phone usage in regards to attention and learning is the primary concern of education professionals within universities.
Well, like anything else, I suppose it's like driving. You're doing some activity where you're supposed to be concentrating. The use of the phone, whether it's for emergency purposes in your mind or whether it's just for socializing, it's going to be a distraction.
And so if you're texting or watching things on your cell phone, it can just be distracting to other students. So I say if you're going to do that, you can do that. You can theoretically sabotage your own education, but you should sit at the back of the room away from other students.
I'm pretty new to teaching, so for me I've always thought, in those classes where people have computers and people have cell phone.
Howard Reingold writes that too often students are in a state of continuous partial attention. Reingold argues that students have too little control over where their devices lead their thoughts and suggests it is important to learn to manage attention.
Like just this morning, this kid was starting to be all stealthy under the desk, and then she watched him for a second, and she was like, you know what, screw this. I was like, I'm sorry, can I have your full attention? And you could tell, if I were standing here right now doing your interview, but actually texting on my phone, would you guys be upset or would you be stoked?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd be super choked.
As Williams and Pence discuss, it might be better to use some of Reingold's ideas, such as designating some portions of class as technology on and other times as technology off. This might teach the lesson that there are times when technology is appropriate and sometimes when it is not. Further support is given by Javid, Malik, and Gujar, who say that students are in adulthood and wise enough to recognize their duties. It is the responsibility of students to use this marvelous magical device in a better way.
And I think I use my phone as a break when I'm not paying attention to the prof anymore anyway, so I take a short 2-minute break, surf Facebook, and then get back to it.
As we've discovered, the trend towards how cell phones are being approached is changing as a new generation of users becomes aware and media literate. Although some researchers say that there may be a number of drawbacks of this technology, as the mobile phone can have negative impacts on students' ability to focus and moral values, the positive attributes, such as its practical mobility and research capabilities, make it an asset that may lead to increasing academic performance. We finished our analysis by asking our interviewees what they thought of an outright ban of the cell phones in the classroom, which resulted in mixed emotions.
I would support it in theory, but would I support it in practice? Would I sign a petition? Would I canvass students? No, I think that people have to be treated as adults. Would I support, however, a kind of an education program more than a ban where students were encouraged to think a little bit more about the way that those technologies can impact and can interfere with learning? I would be in favor of that. I think that people should be able to make their own decisions.
I don't know if I would, I'm not very into banning something. I think it seems very extreme. You never know, people I'm crazy about my iPhone. I do everything. My calendar is in it. I need to know time. I need to check on it,
I tend to not like banning things outright because it can create a sense of taking the responsibility away from the student and the individual.
One of my profs has banned their cell phones. You get 1% off your final grade every time he sees you with your phone. It scares me.
Personally, I'd feel pretty good about it, but I'm sure that there are a lot of people who would be super chill. But I would vote for banning them. Ban them. Just do it.